Introducing the Sins2 Entity Tool, a powerful, user-friendly way to edit game entities for Sins of a Solar Empire 2. Please note that this is a beta release, so be sure to back up your mod files before diving in. This video will be a quick guide for how to set up the tool, a preview of some of its features, and a note of its current limitations. First, after downloading the latest release from GitHub and placing it where you want, you'll want to select the schema directory and the base game directory. If you downloaded the modding tools from Steam, they are going to be in your Steam Apps Common folder. Likewise, if you bought the game from Steam, then it is going to be in your Steam Apps folder. And then we can go ahead and start working with our mod. We can select our mod folder with the button up here, or by dragging and dropping onto the application. It takes a second to load the data and build the UI, so just give it a second. Once the data is loaded, you can edit it as you like. Things styled in bold are required, italic means it's from the base game, and grayed out means that you can't edit it. You can right-click to add properties, and they'll be auto-populated with the required and available fields. You can also right-click to add array items, and they will work in just the same way. You can also right-click to delete items, and most things can be undone or redone with the buttons up here, or with Control-Z, Control-Y. And then we can also right-click on values and select from a assortment of other available things like files, uniforms, localized text, textures, and sounds. If we select from a file, we see our base game files along with our mod files. So I can select from our drop-down here, units, and I'm also given the option to, instead of just selecting, I can copy a file. If it's from the base game, then I have the option to overwrite it, which will keep the same name, and therefore overwrite that file when we load this mod in the game. Or I can just create a new file with a new name, and it will change our UI here to reflect that. And then we can select this. It's a button that will open up the Units tab with our new unit. Likewise, anything like abilities, action data sources, any references from one file to another should be buttons that you can click on that will take you to that file in the appropriate tab. Speaking of tabs, we have the Research tab. Here you can add research subjects and delete research subjects. This is one thing that is not implemented with the undo, redo functionality, so do be warned and know that this is an operation that will not be able to be undone. When you add a research subject, it's very similar to adding a file or making a copy of a file. Here we have options from all of our existing research from our mod and from our base game. And we can do a search in here. We have search bars in all of our selection dialogues. I should also note that the Research tab does need to get refreshed whenever you make changes to, say, the position, because it will not automatically refresh with the new information. And we'll go ahead and give ourselves a copy of the Trader Twin Fortress. We'll copy selected. We do have to give it a new name. We'll go ahead and call this Unity Twin Fortress, since we are the Advent Collective. And we can choose our domain, our field, and our tier. For testing purposes, I'll leave this at tier 0 and I'll just move the field coordinate so it's a little bit farther down. I'll hit OK, and we have created our research here. I do see that we have a prerequisite here that we probably won't be able to meet as the advent, so I will just delete our prerequisites and hit save here. And I will note that there are still some issues with the undo and redo functionality, so I do suggest that you save often and keep backup. If you ever feel like any display isn't showing you the correct data, or if there's any other bugs, you can try refreshing the view with the button in the corner. For larger files like players, this can take a second, so be patient. We can change the player that we're editing in the top right. You also have a button in the top right to add or delete a player. Normally, you'll just be adding them, but again, we have the option to copy from our existing mod players or our base game players. And if we create a copy, we can overwrite it or give it a new name. And it will go ahead and pull that file up for us immediately. And we do need to do one thing with players. In our uniforms, we need to go to player, and in pickable players, we need to add an item, which is going to be from file, go to player, and our new advent. We can select that now, and we've added our new player. The last thing I'll show you is if you are editing localized text, any edits that you make in the area where you actually see the text will go to the localized text file, so you don't have to worry about that. Now that I've made a bunch of changes, let's see those changes in the game. All right, we're in, and I just wanted to show you that we do have the things that we added: the starting exotics, our starting titan, our extra twin fortress research, and wanted to give a quick shout out, a thank you to all of the wonderful people at Stardock and Ironclad Games for making this awesome game. Everyone who is out there making mods for this game, just doing great things that I'm very much looking forward to playing, and everyone who's been supporting me as I've been building this tool. And there it is, Entity Tool. This is just a quick overview of its current state, but there's still much to come, and I'll do a more in-depth video after the full release. In the meantime, known issues will be added to the GitHub, along with a roadmap of planned features and fixes. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think.